Gumball Watterson might be one of the most miserable kids on TV, and I'm not even talking about the times when he's literally drowning in chaos. Why is this? How did a cartoon character get stuck in such a depressing life? Let's break it down. First up, let's talk about Gumball's family. If there was ever a blueprint for chaos, it's the Watterson household. You've got Nicole, his mom, who's basically the only adult in the house, working her tail off while trying to keep things from falling apart. She's stressed, overworked, and probably questioning all of her life choices. Then there's Richard, his dad, who's... well, let's just say he's not exactly the role model you'd want in a crisis. Richard is literally a giant man-child who can't even do the basics, like turning on the oven without setting the house on fire. I mean, can you imagine being Gumball, trying to navigate life while your dad's over there, making whoops his default mode? And then, of course, there's Anais, his genius little sister. This girl could probably run the world by the time she's 5. Yeah, there's that awkward family dynamic where Gumball's stuck being the middle child who's just trying to keep up with all the insanity around him. 2. School, the land of awkwardness and disaster. Now, Gumball's life isn't just miserable at home. Oh no, it's also pretty miserable at school. Gumball's trying to survive middle school like the rest of us, but with one major difference. His school is totally insane. From his principal, who's literally a living, talking avocado, to his teachers who seem to have been pulled from the most random corners of the multiverse. School is a circus. But it's not just the weird characters. Gumball is also a messed up student. He's not exactly the smartest, and he has a tendency to get involved in the worst situations, often dragging his friends like Darwin into the mess. So imagine being in his shoes. Your family's a mess, your school's a nightmare, and on top of all that, you're constantly trying to save face when everything's falling apart. 3. The bizarre, over-the-top world. Speaking of falling apart, let's talk about the world Gumball lives in. It's not your typical cartoon setting. It's insane. One day, there's a giant pigeon eating all the garbage in Elmore, and the next, Gumball is battling a giant fish that's literally his alter ego. And let's not forget about his constant run-ins with random characters turn Gumball's life into a chaotic game of dodge the disaster. Every day is a new crisis for Gumball, a new problem, a new level of absurdity. It's like life is constantly throwing curveballs at him. Instead of dodging them like a pro, Gumball just gets hit with every single one. There's no such thing as a chill day in Elmore. Gumball's world is constantly out to get him. 4. Gumball's own self-doubt. Okay, let's get real here for a minute. Gumball isn't just dealing with external chaos, there's also his internal struggle. Gumball, at his core, is a kid who's trying to figure out where he fits in. He's not the smartest, he's not the most athletic, and he's definitely not the most put-together person in the room. He's stuck in this weird limbo of wanting to be something more, but not really knowing how to get there. And that self-doubt, it doesn't help him one bit. He spends a lot of time second-guessing himself, whether it's trying to impress his crush Penny, or figuring out why he can't seem to ever be taken seriously. It's no wonder Gumball often seems miserable. Who wouldn't be? Constantly questioning whether you've got what it takes. 5. The impact of growing up. And of course, there's the simple reality of growing up. Gumball's not a little kid anymore. He's moving into those awkward teenage years where everything feels confusing. His friendships, his relationship with his family, and even his view of the world are all changing. And with change comes stress. And with stress, well, you get the miserable Gumball we all know and love. He's trying to figure out what it means to be a kid, a friend, a son, a person in a world that's literally designed to make him question everything he thought he knew. Growing up is hard, especially when your life feels like an episode of Wipeout. Alright, so it turns out Gumball's life is, well, kind of a disaster. But hey, that's what makes the amazing world of Gumball so entertaining, right? Watching this poor kid navigate through a world that's designed to make him miserable is somehow kind of fun. But hey, maybe it's a good reminder that even when our lives feel like a circus, there's always something to laugh about. So, what do you think? Do you agree that Gumball's life is one big misery fest? Or do you think there's a deeper meaning to all the chaos? Let me know in the comments below. And hey, if you found this video hilarious or just a little bit depressing, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell so you don't miss out on more Gumball breakdowns. Catch you next time, and remember, even Gumball has his moments of glory somehow.